Hey friends, my name's Gabrielle and welcome to FrumiousReads, and today we are talking about chapters 5 and 6 of the Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So, there was a little bit of time between episodes, and that is because it was the holiday season, and we just took the time off to actually get ready to record and have things to say.
It took quite a bit of time.
Yeah, so hopefully now we'll get back into the schedule that we were starting to establish with our first 2 episodes. But yeah, so this week has been a very eventful week because not only do we have another episode up, but we were finally given a trailer for the new season and final season of Game of Thrones.
You were super excited about that.
I was so excited about that. Oh my gosh. So we thought it'd be really fun to sort some of the Game of Thrones characters into their Hogwarts houses. At least this week we're going to do the Stark house, and then maybe next week we'll do one of the other legendary houses.
Now, are we going to do all the Starks? Because there's a lot of them. Or should we just do should we just do the children? And if we're doing the children, should we just do the ones that are alive?
I think let's start out with the ones that are alive. So yeah, so let's start off with Sansa, because I feel like she's one of the easiest characters to sort.
I think she would be in Slytherin.
No, see, I was thinking Ravenclaw.
Really?
Yeah, because knowledge is kind of like her power at this point. She's been following Peter Baelish for so long that she's learned kind of his tricks and his ways, but she doesn't implement them using the same methods as Baelish does.
You know, and see, that's where I disagree with you a bit, because she did learn from Peter a lot. She did learn how to sort of play the game of Thrones, dun dun dun. And that ending where she was able to trick him.
Spoilers.
If you haven't seen it by now,
Yeah.
The way they were able to turn that all on him. I think it was great. I think it showed she really truly was coming to her own, being cunning,
Being ambitious, being resourceful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true, actually. I don't know. I was torn between Slytherin and Ravenclaw for her. I do think you have a lot of good points about her being in Slytherin. So I don't know. Maybe she's more Slytherin. I can see it. Okay, so then let's do John.
John.
Yeah.
Ooh, John. All right. So I sometimes go into different fandom threads on Reddit and other different websites and whatnot. And I remember reading a lot of people saying thinking that John would go into Gryffindor. But I really do think John is more of a Hufflepuff.
I was thinking Hufflepuff for him too. Just especially that's shown in that last scene when he's asked about his loyalty and if he'll be loyal to Cersei. And he's already promised his loyalty to Dany. He's like, I have already been promised to be loyal to this queen.
Yeah.
And it shows it's extreme loyalty,
He really took all of his lessons and, really implemented him into himself. And Ned Stark, I'm pretty sure he would be a Gryffindor, but that's a discussion for another time. But, learning from a Gryffindor and applying them out to the real world really kind of makes it more of a Hufflepuff kind of thing.
I thought he was more Hufflepuff just because he does tend to be that the toiling, the hardworking one.
Yeah.
He's not necessarily brave, more as that he's just doing what he feels like he has to do.
Yeah, doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
So yeah, I mean, he is brave, but it's not necessarily for bravery that he's doing these things. It's more for necessity. Yeah, I'm glad we definitely both were thinking Hufflepuff on that one.
Let's go with everyone's favorite character, or the most popular character, Arya.
Arya.
I
love Arya. Definitely Slytherin.
Slytherin, really?
I 100% think so, yeah. Just to survive with the Faceless Men and then to be able to pull off the same tricks and the same procedures that they do, I think makes her very Slytherin. She just has so many of the Slytherin qualities just to be able to accomplish that alone. And then plus her entire story has been one of survival and resourcefulness and cunning and trying to outlive and get away from everyone and outsmart everyone.
Arya was the one I was having trouble with the most because I was thinking she's definitely not Gryffindor, but I was thinking she could also kind of be a Hufflepuff a little bit, but also I was thinking also Ravenclaw and Slytherin. So it's really, for me, Arya is really up in the air, but I do see the whole Slytherin aspect. It's funny how the two sisters are Slytherin and whatnot. That was pretty easy.
That was really easy. What about, let's just do Bran, because he is
yeah.
also alive.
Yes, he is alive.
I would say Ravenclaw for him.
I kind of want to say Ravenclaw too, but I don't know if that's like too
The three-eyed raven. Yeah. I mean, but honestly, even before then, I feel like he had some pretty Ravenclaw qualities.
Yeah.
You know, like the intelligence back when he had a personality, just kind of like that necessity to learn.
When he was when he was taking over for Rob, being Lord of the North and Lord of the North, and like creative and all that. Thinking smart. Yeah, I could see that. Being the three-eyed raven now. So technically there's two brands, there's the regular brand and the three-eyed raven brand.
Yeah.
So, I call them brand. But would he still be a Ravenclaw now as a three-eyed raven?
I think now that he is a three-eyed raven, he's essentially the Ravenclaw. Like, he's literally a raven, you know? No, I think so. I think definitely turning into the three-eyed raven has enhanced qualities that maybe he wasn't quite aware he had before, or like
that makes sense.
Like they've just enhanced certain parts of him. Now we're moving on from the alive Starks to the dead Starks. Who do we want to start with first, Christian?
Let's start with Rickon.
Rickon?
Yeah.
He had 5 episodes and no lines. He was a baby.
Yeah.
He could be the Sorting Hat.
That'd be funny. I think honestly I would put Rickon as a Gryffindor.
I would too.
Just because zigzag on the field, man.
Yeah.
Zigzag on the field.
Yeah.
Don't just run straight. Zigzag.
Yeah. But I definitely
Yeah.
I think Gryffindor too.
But also, you know, when he was little and when he and Osho went away, you know, to go hide in some lord's castle, he wanted to stay behind. He was like, I have to protect you. I have to stay. I have to protect you. And, you know, for me, I was like, this is a kid who's like seen essentially his entire family die. And now he's just trying to protect all of them, doing what he can.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking even just from the little that we've kind of gotten from him, definitely I could see him as a Gryffindor too. Yeah. Okay. So what about Rob?
Ooh, Rob's a toughie.
Rob's tough for me. I have him down between Gryffindor and Hufflepuff.
Really? I have him down as a Gryffindor and Slytherin, actually.
No, really?
Yeah.
See, because in the end, it was his loyalty that killed him. Mm-hmm. He fell in love with a woman who even though he said he was going to marry another one.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I guess that's the opposite of loyalty, because he said he was going to marry someone and then he fell in love with someone else and broke off.
It was more honor than anything, you know.
So I guess that goes more into Gryffindor territory.
Sure. Yeah, so he's got like qualities of no, full on Gryffindor.
I think
he's fully all honor bound, and you know, if you want to, we could segue into Ned Stark here, because he really did make the same mistakes as Ned. You know, the mistakes of honor and all that stuff.
Honor and fairness.
And trying to be the moral person in an immoral world, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think Rob and Ned are both like very Gryffindor. Like they both kind of, if there was a mascot for Gryffindor in the Game of Thrones series, it would be Rob, and it would be mostly Ned Stark. Yeah. He would be like the forefront image on the banner, and then Rob would just be peeking out behind him.
Yeah.
So then that just leaves Caitlin.
I have her down between either a Ravenclaw or a Slytherin.
See, I think I would put her more for Ravenclaw.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Because she was always upfront about all the information she had, you know, like she never really like used her cunning, or she never really like talked her way around situations.
She was just kind of blunt.
Yeah, she had a lot of information. She knew a lot of things. She was able to learn a lot from her surroundings, but she never really used that in a way that I feel like a Slytherin would. I feel like she was just very much upfront. This is what I know.
Yeah. I could see that, Caitlin being the Ravenclaw, and then Sansa and Arya being kind of forced into being a Slytherin in a sense.
That's where I think Sansa start off like emulating her mother so much, and that's why I think like my first impression was Ravenclaw. They both really have changed. So I think definitely Caitlin Stark would be a Ravenclaw, because she was very creative, she was very knowledgeable, like she was very book smart. She wasn't necessarily situationally smart, you know?
Yeah, I could see that.
That concludes the total of the House of Stark.
Yep.
that we are sorting today. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching this. If you like this, then make sure you check out the full episode of the podcast on Podbean. It will be linked in the description down below, and we got some really cool cover art now, so I'm excited for you guys to all see that. Let us know if you thought our sorting predictions were right, if you think that maybe some of the other characters went into different houses. We'd love to hear from you and know what your opinion is. If you want to see more of Christian, make sure you follow him on Twitter. He is at PacifistPickle, which will be linked in the description down below. And if you want to see more of me, then subscribe to my channel. I upload bookish videos twice a week, as well as reaction videos whenever something cool comes out that I want to react to. But for now, that's all we have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and we will talk to you guys later. Okay. Bye.